Good evening, everyone. My name is Camille Sinclair. I'm the marketing coordinator for the Mono School of Business and Management, and I'd like to welcome you to Masters Talk for the Master of Science in Accounting graduate program. We will be starting in a few minutes. Thank you for joining us early. We're just giving people some more time to log in before we get started. So we'll begin in another 3 minutes or so. Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. As I said, my name is Camille Sinclair. Welcome to the Mona School of Business and Management Graduate Programs Masters Talk, where we'll be focusing on the MSc in Accounting. I'd like to welcome you to our session this evening, and thank you so much for choosing MSBM and for joining us. I am going to hand over to Miss Shirley Eaton, who will be taking you through the presentation this evening about the graduate program, and then we will be getting into our question and answer after all the presentation is complete.
Thank you so much, Camille. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's wonderful to have you all here. We know people are busy and struggling with traffic, etc. So we really appreciate the fact that you have taken the time out to join us to learn about our program and about MSBM. Before I go any further, though, there are one or two persons who are on in this webinar today that I would like to acknowledge. Firstly, we have Mr. Leighton McKnight. If Leighton could turn on his camera, we'd be very happy. For those of you who are interested in the accounting profession, you know Leighton is legendary. He's former territory manager for PwC and fortuitously for MSBM. He is now an executive in residence here. So we really want to welcome Leighton. Leighton, are they able to see you? Take a peek at you. Great.
Thank you. I put on the camera, but I don't know what's happening.
Okay, we see you later.
I don't know.
Right?
I'm seeing you, Leighton.
You're seeing, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, so we're really, really, really extraordinarily been placed in an advantageous position to have Leighton as our executive in residence. And of course, those of you in accounting or have done accounting, you know he's legendary. The other person I'd like to introduce to you, right, is our program coordinator, Mrs. Nordia Lawrence. This is the lady, when, and notice I'm not saying if, when you join our program, this is the lady who will be your support, who will walk the 100 miles to make sure that you are up to date, that you are enjoying the program, that you're aware of what is going on, etc. We also have with us, well, two of our lecturers. We have Christina Hosin Ashman. We have Mr. Winston Delahaye. A number of our lecturers will join us as we go along, as many of them right now I know are actually in classes. And of course, we also have with us our Director of Finance, our money lady. This is the lady who controls the kitty, Ms. Merlin Reed. So later on, perhaps you may have some questions for her. Now, MSBM, Mona School of Business and Management, is a key plank of the University of the West Indies, Mona's value proposition to its constituents in Jamaica and across the region. We offer a range of undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs. And of course, we complement its unique academic programs with cutting-edge consultancy services and also a public policy research. In 2011, our MBA program was accredited by AMBER. We are accredited in 2014 and 2017. AMBER, as you know, is the international accreditation body for MBA programs. In 2014, we were awarded the Best of Chambers Small Enterprise by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. 2015, we were recognized among the top 3 winners of the Project Management Organization of the Year Award and was recognized by the Project Management Institute for Excellence in Project Management. 2022, this is just giving you some highlights. You know, there are other things in between. 2022, several of our MSc programs have been ranking in the top 10% in Latin America by Edun, I always mispronounce it, Eduniversal, Eduniversal. Of course, we're part of the World Economic Forum for administering the Global Competitive Survey for Jamaica, and we've been named as an authorized training provider by the Project Management Institute. So this is just a highlight of some of our accomplishments, some of the things we've been able to achieve, and we continue with this record of excellence. Our vision, of course, to be an excellent, globally recognized business school rooted in the Caribbean. Our mission, to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of Caribbean enterprises through the development of world-class business professionals and research-based solutions. Our programs, we offer a menu of programs, graduate programs. Of course, one of our major programs, our MBA, I suppose you could call that our Starship. Okay, we have our MSc Accounting program. We have our MSc Computer-Based Management Information Systems program. We have our MSc Corporate Finance program that has been introduced relatively new. We have MSc in Enterprise Risk Management. We have our MSc in Marketing and Data Analytics, in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, and of course, the National Security and Strategic Studies. So you can see we have a menu of very modern, very important programs geared towards the development of not only our country, but also our region, and to produce graduates who can work seamlessly in any jurisdiction. Now, the Master of Science in Accounting. All right, this program is designed to produce accounting thinkers, researchers, and practitioners to meet the demands of an increasingly complex and internationally competitive business environment. This is done with our sights on international developments in accounting education in recent years. Students who take this program will naturally be involved and will be able to join our chartered accountants in Jamaica. It's a source for the provision of chartered accountants in Jamaica. The program is accepted as a final professional examination for admission to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. We offer a number of scholarships. We have the ICAJ Kenneth Chung Memorial Scholarship. We have our JMMB Joan Duncan Memorial Scholarship, and we have the George Willis Scholarship. So there are scholarships available to our participants in our program. Now, the menu of courses that we offer. You will be doing advanced financial reporting, taxation, management information systems, legal environment of business, advanced financial accounting, advanced management accounting, corporate finance, financial markets and investment, auditing, accounting research and related theory, and corporate environment and strategy. Now, our program starts in September. Okay, it consists of 11 core courses, and we also have a field project at the end of the program for a total of 47 credits for successful completion of the program. The part-time program is 24 months. Full-time program is 16 months, but our full-time program naturally is subject to the number of applicants who apply for full-time. Our class times for our part-time program, any 2 evenings between Monday and Thursdays, 5 to 9 p.m. The full-time program, if we have a sufficient number to be able to offer the full-time program, it would be a mixture of day and evening classes. I remember keep a little notes, all right? And because at the end, you'll get an opportunity to ask whatever questions you will need to ask to read the program. Now, applicants have to hold a bachelor's degree or its equivalent in accounting with a GPA of 2.5 or higher. The applicants who have GPAs maybe lower than 2.5 can be considered if they have at least 2 years working experience in accounting and also certain professional qualifications in the area. And of course, we would conduct an interview, and if they're successful, then we would accept you. Our mature, I want to call our mature applicants. See, in other words, those without a first degree may be considered if they have at least 10 years working experience in accounting. And of course, they have professional qualifications in the area. And of course, we would carry out an interview. And at the end of the interview, and most, if not all, are always successful, would be considered for entry into our program. You can apply online. You can go to our MSBM website and complete the application online and submit your supporting documents. The application deadline for our academic year commencing September 2025 is March 31st, 2025. And of course, you can scan here to submit your supporting documents, and I do believe that it will also be placed in the chat for you. Right, and in fact, the application guide is in the chat for you. At this point, I am going to open up the session. I don't know if Leighton, you may have a few comments to make, or any of our lecturers or Nordia, and certainly we're inviting you all to ask questions, seek further clarification. We have a very experienced panel here of coordinators, etc., who can be and will be of assistance to you.
I'll go in a couple of minutes. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Leighton, if you're speaking, we're not hearing you.
No, I think Leighton said he would go in a few minutes. Yeah. Okay, folks, I'm encouraging you. We're all family here, and we're hoping that you will also join our very close-knit family at MSBM. I am surprised nobody has any comments about tuition.
All right, sure. So let me even give a added perspective.
Yes, thank you, Lee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. And as our chair, Shirley, says, and I hope to see you in the program soon. It's a most worthwhile program. Just by way of background, the MSc in accounting from you is a very special degree. It's the only master's program in the Caribbean that gives you a direct route to become a chartered accountant in Jamaica. As you know, to be a chartered accountant in Jamaica, you have to be a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica, ICAJ. Now, ICAJ entry requirement that you must pass an accredited examination. There are a number of them, a few. The ACCA, that's out of the UK, the AICPA is out of the US, and also the Masters in Accounting with the UWI Mona School of Business and Management. Now, this degree is by way of a memo of understanding with the University of the West Indies and the Institute of Chartered Accountants, which says once you have passed this once you have attained this degree, you are eligible for membership at the Institute of Chartered Accountants. There are some qualification experience in terms of work experience, passing a code of ethics, having 2 references and all of that. But if you pass the MSc, you're a graduate. You are well on your way to become a chartered accountant if you so desire. Now, that can open a lot of doors. You can go out in industry, or you can even become a practicing accountant where you can sign audit opinion and your own practice and all of that. So the avenues are wide. And as I said, this degree is special. Trinidad does not offer it, neither does Barbados, not Bahamas. We are the only university currently in the Caribbean that offers this special master's, which is your doorstep to becoming a chartered accountant. So I think it's more than worth your while to give yourself that option. So do sign up. Thank you, Shirley.
Thanks, Liz. We have 2 questions in our chat. One person is asking for the 2 recommendations that is required for the application. What if an applicant is unable to obtain a recommendation from a previous lecturer? We will exercise some flexibility in that regard. And certainly we would want recommendations from persons that would be considered reputable, and certainly persons who would know you quite well. So we do have a level of flexibility in that regard. Aha, here is a question for our finance lady. Okay, how much is the tuition for part-time students and what are the payment options? So I'm going to ask Merlin, our Ms. Reed, if she could take that question.
Thank you, Shirley. And could you repeat the question for me, please? And good evening, everyone.
Yes, how much is the tuition for part-time students and what are the payment options? You heard that, Merle?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So the tuition fee for whether part-time or full-time MSc accounting is US $11,000 for the program fee. Usually, once you come in the program fee holds for the 2 years. So if you start in 2025, tuition program fee will hold for the 2 years. The fee is paid on a semester basis. However, you have the option, you can choose, I should say, to pay whether you pay monthly or for each semester, or you can pay the full amount for the semester, or you can pay for a year, or if you have the funds, you can pay for the full program fee at the beginning of your program. For persons who are choosing the monthly payment plan, we only have a plan that covers the semester. So for example, you start the program in September, your first portion of your fee you would do in August, and you would send us an email to say you are choosing to pay your semester fee over the first 3 months of the semester. So you would pay in September, October, and November. Reason is that come December, that's the time for your end of semester exams, and you want to clear your fees prior to going into the exam period. So ends the 3 months. And if that's what you choose continually for the rest of your program or for the rest of the year, that's what is applied for the other semesters. The tuition fee is paid in 3 installments, 3 equal monthly installments for the first 3 months of your semester. I hope I have answered the question. And of course, even though the fees are quoted in US dollars, you have the option of choosing to pay in US currency or the Jamaican equivalent. We Usually we provide an exchange rate that is used for the academic year at the beginning of the academic year, usually around the end of July, early August. That figure would be provided for the students. I hope I've answered your questions. Shirley, any more questions for me? Camila, are you seeing?
No. There were actually two dealing with the whole matter of payment and payment arrangements and the breakdown, etc. First is a query. What if you have already started ACCA and decide to do the master's instead? Where does the successful completion of this program stand regarding exemptions? I don't know if Chris or Leighton would like to take that question.
All right. I can take a stab at it.
Good. Yes, thanks, Leighton.
Okay, so as I said, the MSc is an entry route for the Institute of Chartered Accountants membership. So if you finish your MSc, you can be a member of ICHA, subject to the other requirements. Now for ACCA, there are exemptions. And as a matter of fact, at this very minute, we are in discussions with the ACCA for what would call exemptions for MSBM programs. But ACCA has 3 levels: the foundation level, or level 1, the certificate level, level 2, and the professional stage, which we call level 3. ACCA will not grant anybody, any institution, everybody, regardless of your background, first or second degree, must do the master. Now, must do the final 4 papers. That's the professional stage. So they won't exempt you from that. I should also point out that people who move on to the AICPA, most of the states, which is an exam you have to sit in the US, most of the states require you to have a master's degree before you can sit that exam. Just about 2 will allow first degrees. So to answer your question, you may be exempted to a point, but you still will have to do the final stage of ACCA, regardless of what you do. And that's anywhere in the world, whether UAE, whether Australia, anywhere, even if you have a master's, they insist that you must do their final exam for them to recognize you as an ACCA member. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thanks, Dayton. And folks, we want to welcome one of our lecturers, Ms. Nikisha Gray. She's located at our Western Jamaica campus. And she's reminding us that the recommendation, we require 2 recommendations. And she noted that it can be by 2 active ICAJ members in good standing. So thank you very much for that, Nikisha. Is there anything you may want to share with the participants here today? Okay. Okay, somebody asked a question. They wanted more information on our co-op in accounting for future full-time students who are working. I will take a stab at that. Now, we had introduced this co-op in accounting program, really geared towards our undergraduates so that they could get work experience whilst completing the degree. We have, in certain circumstances, extended it to master students. And what we have done is we normally make arrangements with our accounting firms to take the persons on. At the undergraduate level, it is usually for a semester, and then the courses that they would have carried through during the semester, they would do it in the summer. Now, persons have been doing a lot of summer traveling. And so what was once a very vibrant program, we have found that we have had less persons interested because they would have to do the courses they would normally do in their second semester. They would have to do it in the summer. We have had a number of our MSc students who are master students who had inquiry, and where possible, we would certainly try to see if we can place them in one of the accounting firms that we have a very close relationship with. I don't know if that assists. Or you said for information on co-op in accounting for future full-time students who are working. No, if you are working, you would not be able to pursue the co-op in accounting program, because as I said to you, it's a special arrangement with our accounting firms where a person goes in and works with them for the semester and then makes up the classes that they would have missed that semester in the summer. Okay, so somebody's saying, so to confirm, the masters would provide you with more exemptions than having only a bachelor's when applying for the ACCA. Late, you want to take that, or Chris? Or who else? Yes, or Nikisha? So the person is saying they're confirming the masters would provide with more exemptions than having only a bachelor's when applying for the ACCA.
Australian, I think Leighton mic is not open. Just for clarity, based on what Leighton had said, is that all students would have to sit the professional exams. That's the last 4 papers. What I know that ACCA have been doing is that when you have finished your MSc master's program, what they require from you, they usually ask for your transcript so they can assess it, and they will usually determine how many courses you get exemption from. So they look at the courses, usually ask you to get it evaluated by one of those evaluating agencies, and then they will advise you individually what if you would have gotten exemption for up to the certificate level. If not, they'll tell you what else you need to do or what other number of hours, accounting hours you need. But as Leighton said earlier, the professional level has to be done by all students, whether or not you have a master's.
And thanks, Nikki. And I want to add to that, because as I mentioned, and I think Christy may be on too. We just met with ACCA last week. I think we're meeting with them again this week. And the very thing, we are looking at how to maximize exemptions. So as Nikisha says, every degree is assessed on an individual basis. But I mean, if they know you have a certain degree, like from you and all, which you're accustomed to, 99%, that, you know, the exemptions will be standard. Now, what we are working with ACCA as it relates to the masters is that there are at least 2 subjects that are giving a lot of trouble for students to pass at the final level. So they are working with the UE right now, Mona School of Business, to see what we can do within our master's program to enhance the possibility of them getting through that exam. So we're looking at a partnership. So I say you still will have to do the exams, but if our negotiations and, you know, discussions are fruitful, it means that once you have done the master's from Mona School of Business and Management, your chances of passing the final ACCA exams will be well enhanced. So, you know, so it won't give you a direct route to ACCA, it can do for ICAJ, but it will certainly equip you to do better at the final exams for ACCA.
Thanks so much, Liz. This person is asking, how can I apply to the co-op accounting program? I'm not sure. I'm wondering if I'm understanding it properly. Well, certainly you'd have to be a student. As I said, the program focuses really at the undergrad level, but you certainly would have to be a student in our program in good standing. And then we would have to approach one of the accounting firms to see if they are prepared to take on persons as interns. But I'm not sure. You said this is the master's level we're talking about. The core program has really been geared towards our undergrad program. But certainly you'd have to be a student here, have to have been somebody in good standing, and then we would approach a firm to see how best to allow you to do some kind of internship with one of the firms. The other person says, could you speak more about the scholarships and the eligibility? These scholarships are offered to our students. It is based on merit and performance. And also there's an element of need, which is taken into consideration by the panel that does the interviewing. With reference to the Kenneth Chung scholarships, it is the Kenneth Chung's family that is has offered these scholarships to MSBM students, and it would be based on their CV, their performance, and of course the interview, which everybody has to participate in who has applied. Similarly, the JMB Joan Duncan scholarship, same approaches. In fact, that particular program, we actually have undergrad and grad scholarships from the JMB Foundation. George Willie, similarly. It's based on the person's performance, their record, and the interview carried out by a panel. Like all scholarships, as you would expect. Somebody's asking what time in the day full classes are held. Nordia, do you want to comment on this?
Yes, Ms. Eaton. So for the full-time program, once we have the court, we'll actually offer the classes 4 evenings for the week. So it would be from Monday to Thursday, 5 to 9. So it's actually not in the day, but in the evening.
Okay, I don't see any more questions in our chat. Okay, we have no more questions. So we want to express our sincere appreciation to all of you who have attended this session. We are confident that you are looking at one of the premier programs for the accounting profession. And we are certainly looking forward to seeing a number of you next academic year. You may go on our website. There's quite a bit of information on our website, which will reinforce what we covered in this presentation. So we wish to express our sincere appreciation to all of you who took time out. Sure.
Sorry, there's a question. There's a question. Question said, how long after?
Oh, yes.
To know if you are accepted or not?
Yes, I just saw that one come up, Merle. Thank you. Yeah, it says, how long after applying would you know if you are accepted or not? The application period ends March 31st. This is the important thing, folks. We do go through the applications immediately, but everything we have asked for, all the documentation we have asked for has to be presented before we can take a decision. This is oftentimes what delays us being able to respond to an applicant. All the required documentation has to be submitted before we can complete the review. So a lot of times the ball is left in the applicant's court to make sure that all the documentation that is required is submitted to our graduate studies and research department to facilitate us reviewing your application. And want to draw to your attention, we're talking a lot about the ACCA. In fact, the ACCA will be on campus this week, Thursday, 2 to 4, in our executive lecture theatre, Sir Alistair McIntyre building. That's where MSBM is located. And we will have some members of the ACCA there. In fact, the head of the ACCA Caribbean, Paula Marcel Irish, who will be in Jamaica, will be at this event. And we'll get a lot of opportunity to find out from ACCA what the requirements are, what it is they're doing, what are the recommendations they would make to persons who want to successfully complete that course of qualifications. Okay, I'm done. One of our senior coordinators is reminding us, has put in the chat, that for persons who have submitted all the required documents, we have started sending responses, including offers to all our programs. So persons who have applied already, who have received all our documentation for not just this, but other programs, we have commenced the application process and we have actually issued responses. Thank you so much for that, Dawn. Yes, so as I was saying, if you have the time and you're available, you certainly can come and sit in on the ACCA event that we're hosting this Thursday, the 13th, from 2 to 4 in the Sir Alistair McIntyre building, our executive lecture theatre. So if you have some time, folks, please come by as well. We are focusing to a large extent on our final year accounting, BSc accounting students, but we certainly would welcome your presence if you have the time and you can make it. So thank you all very, very much. Have we covered all the questions? Well, I think there's one more.
I think we
Oh,
have.
oh,
I think we have,
okay.
Shirley, and thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I just wanted to highlight, this is Camille again. I just wanted to highlight some upcoming sessions in the event. MSc in accounting isn't your only area of interest. We have others that are coming up. We have the Masters Talk for Marketing and Data Analytics, which is coming up next week, Tuesday, February 18. And then the following week, on the 26th of February, we will have a Masters Talk session that will cover both computer-based management information systems as well as logistics and supply chain management. And then on the 11th of March, we will be having a Masters Talk session to cover corporate finance as well as enterprise risk management. Now, these are not the only ones that are left, but we put these here so that you know these are the ones that are coming up very, very soon. So if you have friends or if you are interested, you can check those out. As usual, we will be sending this information out to people who registered maybe for the graduate programs information session. And then we'll also be posting information out on our social media pages, including the registration link, which does not change. It's always the short version of it is the bit.ly/MSBM Masters Talk 2025. Once you get there, you can select whichever one of the Masters Talk programs you want to register for, and then you'll get the Zoom information for that session. So that's that. I want to thank you once again for being part of the Master's Talk for Master of Science in Accounting this evening. I want to thank Miss Shirley and Eaton, Nordia, and all the other persons that are online who have been able to answer your questions, and we hope we did answer to, not just the best of our ability, but we exceeded some of the expectations with the questions. Please remember that some of the links are in the chat. So you'll find links that will show you where to go and get more information on the graduate programs, how to apply, more information on the tuition and fees. And if you have documents that you want to upload to start your application process, there is the QR code that's also included for you to save, and you can scan it when you're ready. And that information, again, is also available on our website and out on social media. So this recording will be made available once we send our thank yous for participating, and you'll be able to get the link so that you can listen back just in case you think you may have missed something or you want to go back to something that you heard, that you'll be able to get that information. Thank you to everyone from the MSBM faculty and staff who have logged in. Thank you to all of our guests who have joined us this evening, and we look forward to welcoming you to MSBM at the start of the next academic year. Good luck and all the best. Have a good evening.